He didn't need a warrant, he needed a way out. If Joey Quinn never slapped cuffs on Dexter, it wasn't because he couldn't smell the smoke. It's because somewhere between Season 5's surveillance van and Season 8's interrogation room, Quinn and Dexter forged an unspoken deal that made arresting him impossible in every sense that matters. I'll show you the receipts and the exact moment the balance tilted for good. This is commentary and critique for education and entertainment. Major spoilers ahead. Start with Quinn's calibration. He's not Doakes, he doesn't hunt on instinct alone. He sniffs for leverage first. In Season 3, Internal Affairs already has eyes on him for dirty edges and cash that doesn't track. He's social, transactional, and when pushed, willing to color outside the lines. That's not sloppiness, that's a survival style. So when Dexter keeps showing up where chaos lives, Quinn doesn't scream, he gathers currency. Drop your earliest Quinn scene in the comments. What's the first time you felt him angle toward Dexter? For me, Season 5 is The Hinge. The Kyle Butler thread ties Dexter to the Trinity fallout, and Quinn does what Miami bureaucrats don't. He goes off book. He pulls in Stan Liddy, a suspended cop who doesn't mind breaking rules if the paycheck clears. That choice tells you who Quinn is when nobody's watching. He won't build a grand jury case, he'll build leverage. Receipt 1. Season 5, mid-season Liddy surveils Dexter and Lumen. Not a rumor, not a vibe, actual footage and tail work that starts to outline a second life Dexter never meant the bullpen to see. Quinn doesn't run it through the front door because the front door would slam on him, he stores it. He's playing a longer game. Either Dexter trips or the file pays for something Quinn wants later. Receipt 2 escalates fast, Liddy crosses the line from watching to grabbing and ends up dead. The official story becomes haze and paperwork, but one detail matters. The investigation brushes Quinn. It brushes him hard enough that a blood result could have ended his career or worse. And then it doesn't because Dexter runs the analysis. Hold that, we'll close it in a minute because it's the spine of the deal. Receipt 3, Quinn and Deb. Their on-off relationship in Seasons 5-6 isn't just romance, it's a conflict of interest engine. The closer Quinn gets to Dexter, the closer he gets to nuking whatever he has with Deb. And Deb is Quinn's North Star and blind spot in one package. He wants her trust more than he wants a messy truth he can't prosecute cleanly. Pattern interrupt. Watch Season 5 around the Doakes nights. Quinn's posture with Dexter isn't blustery. It's quiet, circling, almost polite. That's not fear, that's calculation. He's checking if Dexter even recognizes how close the net is. Dexter does. He counter-surveils the surveiller and starts a game. Quinn isn't built to win head-to-head. Counter theory time. Quinn never arrested Dexter because he's incompetent. Test that against the receipts. In Season 5, he finds the right pressure point within weeks. In Season 7, while LaGuerta reopens the Bay Harbor butcher track, Quinn's world collides with the Koshka Brotherhood and Nadia. He's compromised, yes, but not clueless. And in Season 8, when a suspect dies in an interrogation room by an arterial strike with a pen, Quinn says the words the department wants obvious self-defense, but his eyes are doing math. Incompetent men don't know when to look away. Compromised men do. Back to the loop. Liddy dies. The heat licks Quinn. For a breathless minute, the evidence can point his way. Then Dexter, the blood expert, touches the case and Quinn walks. No crusade. No IA perp walk. Just daylight and a debt nobody writes down. That's the moment the handcuffs vanish. Because once Dexter saves Quinn's badge and freedom, any push Quinn makes later is a confession with paperwork attached. The killer I'm arresting is the man who buried my own case. You can't testify about the hero who saved you without setting yourself on fire. Receipt 4, Season 5's aftermath. Quinn doesn't suddenly think Dexter is a saint. He recalibrates. The surveillance stops. The temperature drops. The next time Dexter is in a room that should demand a cop's suspicion, say, Season 8's pen through the neck with Oliver Saxon Quinn supplies the institutional words and withholds the personal war. He is not absolving Dexter, he is paying a debt and protecting a life his. Receipt 5, Debra's gravity. In Seasons 5-7, Deb isn't just Quinn's girlfriend. She's the center of half the squad's ethics. To press Dexter is to risk detonating Deb's heart and career. When LaGuerta points past Doakes and toward Dexter in season 7, Quinn doesn't throw himself on that fire. He's already learned the cost of chasing Dexter without airtight proof. It doesn't end the way you think it will, and the shrapnel lands in people you love. Here's a quieter piece almost everyone misses. Quinn's policing language changes after the Liddy mess. Before, he needles Dexter. After, he deflects for him when the stakes are departmental. That season 8 line, obvious self-defense, isn't a belief statement. It's a shield thrown in real time over a colleague who once dragged Quinn out of a legal grave. That's not friendship. That's reciprocity. The kind you don't speak, because speaking names the quid and the quo. Ethics line before the final run, we're not celebrating a killer or excusing a cop's compromises. We're mapping how a story about violence also becomes a story about debt, emotional, procedural, and legal, and how those debts reroute justice. Receipt run 2, the strong ones stacked. 1, IA history shows Quinn will cut corners for ends he likes. Kyle Butler link, season 5, shows he can actually sniff the right trail. 3, Liddy surveillance and death creates a bind that Dexter slices clean for Quinn. Deb entanglement, seasons 5-6, makes any move on Dexter a grenade under Quinn's personal life. LaGuerta's BHB pursuit, season 7, proves the cost of targeting Dexter without a perfect chain. LaGuerta dies and the department closes ranks. Saxon tape shows Quinn choosing phrase over fight. He supplies the label that lets the machine keep moving. If that's all true, then why didn't Quinn at least stash a kill shot, some piece of evidence that could outlive him and land on a DA's desk later? Because the only time he held something close to that, it got one of his own, almost jammed into a murder case. Because every new receipt after that either sat inside Dexter's domain or inside a frame. Quinn couldn't control Saxon in a room with a camera, but a narrative that reads, cop killer neutralized. And because once a man has saved you, you don't build the scaffold he could hang from without admitting the knot in the rope is tied to your own name. Let's circle back to the unspoken part of the deal. Dexter never says, I own you. Quinn never says, I owe you. They don't have to. The deal enforces itself. Quinn stops looking in places that would force him to choose between badge, freedom, and Deb. Dexter, in return, doesn't put Quinn in the kill room that lives behind the evidence lockers. Both men keep each other alive in different ways, and the price is silence. Counter theory redux. Quinn just loved Deb. True, he did. But love alone doesn't explain season 8's posture in that interrogation room or the way season 5's heat evaporates off Quinn overnight. Love makes you hesitate. Debt makes you stop. There's one more layer, and it's ugly. In a department that ate Doakes to protect itself and then would have eaten LaGuerta if she'd lived long enough to be inconvenient, Quinn learns the rule the hard way. The machine rewards people who feed it easy stories. Self-defense, case closed, hurricane, he feeds it those phrases because the alternative is grinding his own bones under the gears. He is not proud of that, he is employed by that. Here's your strongest receipt, placed where it belongs. Season 5. Dexter's lab clears Quinn when the Liddy fallout could have cuffed him. That single act binds every later choice. It explains why the chase ends in throat clearing instead of pursuit, why a detective with excellent instincts never walks the last 10 feet to a pair of wrists he knows he can't keep. Once Dexter becomes the reason Quinn isn't arraigned, Quinn can't be the reason Dexter is. Type, I saw the receipts, if you'll rewatch season 5 with this lens and tell me the exact moment you think Quinn realizes the debt. And if you've got a different turning point, drop the episode and your one-line theory below. Quinn didn't fail to arrest Dexter. He traded the possibility for a debt he could live with. The Unspoken deal paid both their bills, one in freedom, one in silence. And by the time a clean arrest was even imaginable, everything that would make it clean had already been stained. Subscribe to See an Autopsy, where we solve television mysteries with receipts.